Hello, welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time here. Today we are creating something that you can paint along with, and I have in the description linked where you can get the line art that I just posted over on Patreon. It is free. You don't have to be a member. It doesn't cost you anything to get that. You can follow the link. I also dropped it if you're watching right now in the live chat. I dropped the link there, so you can see it if you want to kind of grab it and look. Let's see. We have, I wonder, I used two different photos for this, and I think I'm just going to, I think I'm just going to show them to you on my phone, if my phone will let me do that, and the cameras will let me do that, so that you can see them. Because today, what I am doing is I am working with watercolor. Now, I am going to be using the Paul Rubens. This is the 5th generation set of watercolors, and I mentioned these before. I am using those. They were sent to me by Paul Rubens, so full disclosure. But before I finish up my overall review, and I will be putting that video out soon, but before I finish up my overall review, excuse me, I just wanted to get some more painting in with them so that I could give you my honest opinion of what I think of these paints. So that's what we're going to be using today. Not the Daniel Smith or the Core or any of those. We're going to use these ones. So hopefully I was running a little late. My apologies. Today was the first day back to the normal schedule, and I had people coming to the house to cover stuff for me, and then all of a sudden someone I wasn't expecting to come to the house just showed up at the house, and it was a whole thing, my friends. But you know, you never know what's going to happen here on a Thursday. I always say it. And anyways, I was just a little delayed, and I was in the middle of creating the transfer so that I could get that image in case any of you wanted that line work for yourselves. And I will show you the two reference photos, and if you think it would be helpful, just let me know. I think I can edit the post on Patreon, and I will add both reference photos there so that if you wanted to do one or the other, excuse me, you could do that. So let's talk about the reference photos. I put out a challenge. If you are a patron or channel member on Discord, I put out a challenge to everybody. So normally I do challenges for the creator tier. I think it's the creator tier. Anyways, regardless, this time I thought this would be great for everyone. And I basically put out a prompt list. It has the the list of prompts and suggestions to like kind of get you started. And one of those that's coming up, which should be, I think it's tomorrow's prompt. Maybe I'm mistaken, tomorrow or Saturday. But anyways, it was Fireflies. And I had some people who said, I've never seen a firefly. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like we have fireflies in the backyard. And I'm just thinking, my brain's going 100 miles an hour right now because I was taken off task and rushed to get back. I forgot to put a little firefly on the mushroom. You'll see, we'll put it in. It's fine. It's all going to be perfectly fine. We're all fine here. Anyways, so when a few of you had said, I've never seen a firefly, I thought, you know what? Let's paint some. And if you are in the art group, if you are a patron or a channel member on Discord and you have access to all the prompts and you want to paint this one and use it as your prompt for that day, I encourage you to do so. I hope you have fun with it. We're doing like just at least 10 minutes. The goal is at least 10 minutes each day, and it doesn't have to be, it can be more than 10 minutes. It's like a minimum. Like, let's try to do a minimum of 10 minutes. And so anyhow, I'm getting distracted because it looked like I was catching out of the corner of my eye that my motions weren't going with my hands. And I was like, am I lagging? Is something going on? I don't know. It's not telling me that it is, so hopefully it's not. There's an update I have to do to my computer, but I was like, I'm not doing that just before I have to stream. I can do that tonight, and that gives me a week to work the kinks out. So anyways, we're going to paint this scene with the Fireflies. So that brings me back to the reference photos. I have been wanting to paint kind of like a, I guess it would look like, if there was a style, I would think of it as like a fantasy type art, I guess, maybe. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think, but I wanted kind of that moonlit glow in the distance where I could see some of the trees were lighter, kind of like that Enchanted Forest painting that I never finished from a long, long time ago. But I wanted something like that was like the lighter trees in the distance, some of that blue glowing night back there in the background. I wanted the moon, I wanted fireflies, I wanted some mushrooms, and I wanted it to kind of be like we were in like a little opening, little clearing area in like a woodland scene. So I plugged all of that into, I use Canva Pro, and I plugged that into their magic, it's magic, I don't remember the full name of it, but anyhow. And it basically AI generates, like, I describe what I want, and it's going to AI generate this scene. And then I can use that. So that's what got us started. But we're not copying exactly what the AI did. I have taken two different things, took what I liked about both of those, and have combined the parts to create the painting we're going to do today. So I don't know how you feel about AI, but I love to use it that way for ideas and inspiration and to get me started. Okay. So hi, how is everybody doing? I just feel so rushed, and I don't like feeling rushed. I will calm down. I promise I will. Let me just check in with the chat and say hi to everybody, and then I'm going to take you down to the desk and I'm going to show you what the heck I'm talking about. And hello to Dolphin Soul, and the other Tara is here. Art of Joseph Fincham. I forgot to message Tara, our moderator Tara, and remind her we're back at normal time today. I sent it earlier, but you know that was earlier. Joseph, George Pencil Art, hello. Hi, W.A. Castle. And Cadmium Red Feral Kitten, just waking up in Australia. Okay. Hi, April. All right. And Dolphin Soul, yeah, says, I'm definitely doing this lesson for that prompt. I hope you really enjoy it. I hope you all enjoy it. And if you do paint this one, if you're in the art group, and it is, where is it? Right there. Exploring Art, either on Facebook or MeWe. If you are in one of those art groups, if you're not, join up. It's free. And you can post it there so we can all see it. Whether you like Facebook or MeWe better, you know, the choice is yours. Or you could post it on Instagram and you could tag me. So, but on Instagram, I am at Clark_fine art right there. And that's the only place where I'm different. Every place else I'm at Clark Fine Art. But okay, let's get down to the desk. We have so much work to do today to get this one done. So we are going to go, I think it's this one. Hey, I was right. Okay. So you can see here on my phone. So this was one of the images that I created. I will stop moving my hands, sorry. So this is one of the images that I created. And I really like this tree here with the mushrooms kind of set back. And I wasn't a fan of these kind of wonky partial sticks going on in the background that look like trees. I didn't like those very much. And just make sure I'm going the right way. Yes. Okay. And then I created this one. Now with this one, I mean, I loved the scene, but I really liked this tree. I want to really create layers and depth. So if I used this side of this one and this side and back here, because I liked this moon, I like the larger moon, and this had, see all the fireflies that are in here? So I liked that as well. But I've said it many times, I like odd numbers. I didn't like the 4 mushrooms, and so I changed that. I do like the path kind of leading us back. And again, that's going to kind of bring us, you're going to see, we're going to look at how I did that. So those are the 2. And if it would benefit you, or you feel it would benefit you to be able to see those, after the stream, I can add them over on Discord so that you will be able to have a better look. So today we are using the Mead and watercolor paper. This is the cold press 100% cotton 12x9. We're working big today. I say big today because usually we work on the 7x10 block. But Meaden has sent me this. Meaden pretty much supplies me with paper. Usually when I message my contact over at Meaden, they're happy to send this along because it is my favorite paper. But you know what? I liked this paper before Meaden started sending it to me. So just for full disclosure, yes, Meaden does send me paper. However, I accepted that offer because this was paper I already loved using, and felt that it was an affordable option for all of you, and the folks at Meaden have given us a discount. So if you order directly from them, link is in the description, and you use the code Clark10, that is capital CLARK 10. When you go to checkout, put that in for a discount code, and you will get some money off of this and help make it more affordable for you. It's already an affordable paper, but I do love it. And shipping has always been really quick with them. So when you get your block, the first page, this is green, right? That's what my first page was. It's just a sheet to protect your first page on your block. So I take my handy dandy little tool I have here, right around the edges, and that comes right off. Next up, I've got to share with you guys, I had used something new for transferring my images. This is something that all of you can do. I took these, obviously I printed them in grayscale. I didn't care. I just wanted a quick print out. I printed it off on my laser printer. It looks like garbage, but I can see what I need just to get an image transferred. I'm not wasting a bunch of ink, stuff like that, but I can print it off on regular printer paper. I take this handy dandy little Derwent graphite extra large block. Mine is 06 Onyx Brown, Onyx Dark. I will show you. You might not need to go this dark. We're going to talk about that. We'll figure it out in a moment because this is the first time I've used this block. But what I did was I took the block. Now, I used a tissue to grab said block. You don't have to if you don't mind getting it all over your hands, because you will get it all over your hands. And you see there, I started trying it first with the short end, and it was a little crumbly. Once I switched to the side, that was much better. You're just going to take that block, and literally you're just going to, I shouldn't really press. I have this on, like, not thinking this through, Angela. Hopefully I didn't just mark a big spot on my page, on my, yeah, anyways. So, like I said, you never know what's going to happen here on Thursday, folks. Make sure you tune in. So I just, like, put that on there. And you don't have to do it real heavy, because once I finished with that and put my block away, right, like, this is a mess. I just got frustrated with, Other Tara says, oh, that looks messy. So, yeah, it does look a little messy, but I just have to say, I was getting frustrated because my transfer, like my tracing and transfer paper, my carbon paper, or even graphite transfer paper was never lifting back off my watercolor paper the way I wanted it to. But then you can just take your tissue and rub that in to make sure that you have it covering all the surface. So let me just get rid of this. It's like a baking show, right? And I set that one aside, and magically we have one that's already done. Yes, magically. Hi, Rob. Okay, so what I did was, I wanted this part of this page. This is not a 9, right? This is 9 by 12, but these images were not 9 by 12. I printed both, okay? And what did you miss, Lily? You haven't missed anything yet. So I printed both of them. And again, if you guys need those, just let me know. I will upload them. I will just edit the post and upload them to Patreon so they're on the same thing. Okay? And then I took that graphite block and I put it on my paper. And you see, I rubbed it with the tissue to rub that all in. And I taped it with some washi tape to make sure it would stay put. I did the same on this one. I wanted this side of the image, so I put it all on there. And the paper I rubbed on, so the paper I'm rubbing on is just printer paper. Okay. And so then again, on the back, I put that I didn't waste a bunch of ink on my printer by printing it in color. I just did it in a grayscale. I have a laser printer and a color printer. So on my laser printer, I just real quick just printed it off, and it, you know, like this. So yeah, Lily, it was just a regular old flimsy piece of printer paper. Print the image off. I use, and the link is in the description for these, the Derwent extra large graphite block. I ordered just a single. You can buy them in a set, and that link will take you to the page over on Blick where they have a set of these, which would be great because then you'd have varying, wow, they, you know, from light to dark harnesses. Thank you. So, or you can just get one block. I was like, I just want to try it, so I'm going to get one block. I'm going to tell you, I love this, and I'm probably going to get a set of them now because I will use it like this. I don't know how the other harnesses would work, but if they would still transfer just fine, then you could do that. Like if you needed it very light or very dark. I went with the dark one because I knew I was going to be showing stuff to you guys, and we were going to need to be able to see it on camera. So I can pull those two open, and look, here's my gorgeous little scene right here. I am loving this. This is going to take a while to paint, and we have to do some masking, so we have to dive right in. I'm going to pull these off because I am done with these now. So I'm going to take the tape off that kept them lined up where I wanted them, and I'm actually going to set them together so the messy sides stay together, because I could do this again, right? Like that paper, I could definitely use this again for like a transfer. Okay, so there's a quick little tip, but let me show you. Like, see right here, like there's some really dark spots. I grabbed my handy dandy kneaded eraser, and don't ask me why, but every time I use my kneaded eraser, I always like pull it apart and mess with it first. It's just one of those things. See how that it lifts right off. Now I'm going to want to lighten some of this up, but not too much. So there's our little scene. There's a lot going on here. We got a lot of work to do, and I hope 90 minutes we can get this done. We need to be painting soon. I'm going to lift some of this up just to show you. All I have to do is take that, and I can even make this longer and just roll it. Right? And lighten up some of those lines. If I go too much, they're going to be gone. Like, I could take that off completely, and I don't want to do that. I still need to be able to see it. A lot of this is going to be dark, so I don't have to worry too much about it. All right. I'm going to lighten up some of this that's in here where the moon is at, in hopes that I don't mess myself up. But you know what? It'll all be fine. I have the reference photos to look at. Like, I did like the tree here, and or the marks for like the tree, and I never did the line of the tree. So, you know, not a big deal. We'll just wing it. All right. I'm not going to worry about getting any of those much lighter. It's fine. I just want this part where it's lighter in the picture to be lighter. Okay. George said that was a lot to trace to transfer it. Nice job. Thank you. Okay. Well, I knew I wanted both of those, and so it had to be done. All right, we are going to put some masking on here, and I'm going to do this a little differently today. We're going to use the Paul Rubens paints, and I haven't pulled. Let me see if I can pull this. Is it going to let me pull it out, please? You guys know. I mean, look, I have been using this only because I had metallics on here, and I was like, I needed these in the last few days. I've been working in my sketchbook with the prompts. These are usually the first to go just because, one, it takes up so darn much room on my desk. Two, I don't care for that little side. And three, I'm going to mix on ceramic. What ceramic? I don't know because I didn't grab one. All right, I got a plate. There's a plate right here. We're mixing on a plate today. Meeden has a lot. My preference would be my Meeden tray. That would be my preference. I feel like a hot mess today, but I'm like just trying to get back into the swing of things. It's gonna be a minute before can we slide that down? I don't know what is on there. I'm sure it'll be fine. All right, pencil, we are done with the pencil. I'm pretty sure we're done with the pencil. I left my other brush holder, so I'm just grabbing one of my little trays. Kind of hold my brushes up there. So I am using the Princeton Velvet Touch brushes today. I have an 8.6 and a 2 here. That's only because that was what was sitting out on my desk last time I painted. What am I going to use today? I'm not sure, but it'll be ones that we've had from like, if you've done the curated collections, it'll be like some of those. They are linked below, the set and where you can just buy them individually. Okay. There's that. Now, let me just make sure that whatever that is, yeah, it's not coming off. I don't know what I got on this plate. I think the plate, this was one of my yard sale finds, so it was probably like, that porcelain coating was like a little cracked. All right, I'm just giving my paints a little spritz. Wake them up. You don't have to. Paul Rubens, these paints, re-wet beautifully. Here's the colors that are in that palette in case any of you are wondering. It is linked in the description below. And right now, Paul Rubens still has, for back to school, they have sales and discounts going on these paints. So if this is something that interests you, again, it's linked in the description and you can check them out if you want to. I will have my final review out soon, but I can tell you that these are not a paint that I say stay away from, or maybe it's just not really worth it. I think if you are just getting into watercolors, okay, spoiler alert, but these might be decent for you to do, and we're going to see. I'm putting them to the test today because this is the biggest piece I've painted with them, and it's really going to let me get a feel for how they work and if I really like them. I think we're going to use this Berlin blue, which is PB27, so it's like a Prussian blue. I think we're going to use that for our kind of moody, mystical woodland forest we got going on here. You guys have seen me. I don't know if I linked the PBO drawing gum in the description, but that's what I'm getting ready to use for my masking. You guys have seen me use tools like this before. I have to give a shout out to Dolphin Soul, who said, hey, I found another set of tools. Normally, I use these ones, and these are linked in the description below. So you can get those, or we're going to give these a try today because Dolphin Soul recommended them to me. I got it in a set like this. These are like for nails. And so it comes with these little detail brushes, and these, I think I would be able to put these to use at some point. Look at that. It's like just you guys can't hardly see that very well. It's like just a few hairs there that make up that brush. So you want to talk about being able to get details. That's why I've left these on. I don't want to bend those. I'll make them take a really, really hard left or right turn. But I don't know how the quality is of these. This is like plastic. I do not have high hopes for them, but I am hoping that they will be decent. And if they're not, you know what? I'll just soak this up and I can use this actually in my masking if I want to. But I think these might be good for some detail stuff. So they are all in a set together. And today, because we are going to be using some dotting tools. And if you say, but I don't have dotting tools, that's not a problem. It's not a problem at all. Get yourself a toothpick, right? Something like that. I have a little plastic stick like this. I could use that. I can use just a regular toothpick from the kitchen. If you don't have a dotting tool, it's not a big deal. So don't worry. This is not the end of the world. But yeah, we are going to use that. I've got a small one there. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to place some of our fireflies. No, yeah, not teasing you with tiny brushes. Yes, George, I so am. Let me see. I couldn't see all of your chat. I just had to fix something. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew my masking fluid here. And there are a few places where I'm going to need some dots. So you're going to see, and actually I need a couple, like, sorry, I'm reaching. I have this little container. And I have this little container that I keep glass beads in. And I drop them in my masking fluid to keep my masking fluid level up to the top of the bottle, just like that. Splashed and got some on my finger, but that's not a big deal. All right. Why do I do that? I do that to keep the air out of my masking fluid, make sure it lasts longer. And now watch how easy this is. So our mushrooms are going to have some dots. And I'm just going to put those on with the masking. Now I can do it with this dotting tool, or I can do it with a silicone tool, right? I can just boop, pop those in there. Now the silicone tool, that tip is flexible, so it bends. And I'm trying not to create patterns because nature, right? We don't necessarily have patterns. I want these to be, I wish I would have brought up my, I'm thinking, all of a sudden my brain just went, you know, these mushrooms would be gorgeous if you painted the tops with like some Quin gold or like some Aussie red gold. That'd be so pretty. And yeah. They're downstairs. I am working on my brand new super, it's large, folks. This is going to be the biggest palette you have ever seen. Hit that like button if you're interested in seeing that. It's I'm not going to spoil it, but let's just say that all my Daniel Smith and then some fit on this palette. I can't wait to share it with you guys. That's coming. It'll have its own dedicated video, but you know, hit that thumbs up button if you're excited to see that one. I promise you I won't make you watch me swatch every one of the colors that I put in it out. That won't happen. I have to email the company that made it and ask a few questions before I do the video on it. All right, so we're just gonna, I'm putting the dots. This is not so exciting. You're gonna watch me dot this. I wanted to be able to do this ahead of time, but again, I had somebody just unexpectedly think it's okay, we can stop by the house on a Thursday. They didn't know that I streamed, so it's not their fault. We just have to be flexible and go with it. Some of these bubbles are a little bigger, but some of the spots on the mushrooms are bigger, so that's okay. This is just going to let us paint this much faster as we go. Oh, I can't see. I need to be able to see my reference photos. Great question. Yes. So I put that out last time. I was changing the time for the stream, but then it worked out that I got some extra help and I'm able to continue streaming at my normal time. So this is my normal time to stream, and we will be continuing to do it. It works so much better. It works so much better in my world. So yes. Hi Denise. I'm sort of new. Well, we are glad you're here. So yeah, we're back to this time. This is when you will see me. Where's my? There it is. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to pull up my reference photos. I'm gonna need to be able to see them. I'm gonna need to be able to go back and forth. So I need some spots on these two back here. That was a lot faster. There we go. And I think we'll have a couple here. And some here on this little one. That's it. Just our big ones. Our big ones will have them. And I wanted to draw, and I still forgot. I wanted to draw a little lightning bug sitting on one. Maybe we'll just get crazy and we're going to paint it in freehand. Remind me to add a lightning bug. I want to add them to this little mushroom. Actually, I will forget. I have to play to my strengths. I will forget. So we're just going to have like a little, like a letter D and some little antennae coming off the end. And then we're going to have this like oval shaped body. Look, kind of like a beetle. We'll line up its back. And there we go. There's a lightning bug sitting on our mushroom. Okay. Air quality alert has been extended until August 16th now. I wish they would be able to get the fires out. There's no fire near me. We just have the poor air quality, and it is so hazy. And I was asking Lou, because we don't have regular TV. I don't watch regular TV. And I was asking him, like, what's going on? I'm like, why is there poor air quality again? I'm like, where are there fires? Because that's usually the only reason that you have that. And I guess he was saying that there's some in Canada. So all of you, I hope that if you are in Canada or have friends and family there, that everybody is safe. It can be a scary situation. All right, now I'm going to put in some spots for the, yes, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Cadmium Red Feral Kitten, for reminding me. I will talk about that in a moment. Let me get our Fireflies in, and then we will switch up, and I will talk about that. It won't take me long to explain that to everybody. Okay. We want some Fireflies. So looking at just, again, dipping. And for this, I mean, if I could flick my drawing gum on the page, like I would just flick it. I'm not going to make that kind of mess. We're going to just tap it in. So we're just going to tap in little dots. Right? If I can get it to come off. I want them kind of random. Again, your brain will try to make patterns for you. You have to try to not let it. Whoa, that was a lot. There we go. I'm going to put one here. It's going to be nice and bright. you can put your little fireflies wherever you want. Don't worry if it's not a perfect little circle, because you're going to see, I mean, I could probably get away without doing this at all. I just want a few down, so I know I have that white of the paper. And they're really going to show up in the darker spots, so I'm just getting these dots in here. But if you don't have masking fluid, don't worry. I will show you a way that you could take care of the mushrooms and the fireflies without any masking. If you can't use it because you have a latex allergy and you can't touch masking fluid, no worries. I'm going to show you another way. We're just going to put some through here. You always see them like around the grass. I want a couple under here because we're going to use the little glows from these and we're going to illuminate up underneath our mushrooms. So I want to have a few hanging out over here. And hopefully we're going to paint this up quick because I have only have this planned for one run here, meaning one stream. Okay. So this, I have to do some a little different because this, again, was the other reference photo. So when I look at the one that has all the fireflies, it's not the same. And then the other one, well, they didn't do a very good job with the request for fireflies. I don't think they quite nailed it on that one. Oh yeah. If you wanted to, like, I could put, sorry, you guys know, right? Talking and concentrating and trying to hustle myself up. They don't go together very well. I could take, like the toothbrush, I use it for flicking, like with the white. And I could, ready? I said I wasn't going to do this, but guess what? Put that in my masking. Oh my God, this is going to make a mess. It did flick some little spots in my tree. Yeah, I'm not doing that again. Like, I just have this like vision of masking fluid on my glasses, on my monitor, like on everything. It would come right off. Not that big of a deal, but there's only so much chaos we can have here on a Thursday. We just want fireflies through our scene. That was one of the things, like those who said, okay, look at, I just like Orion's belt. I Orion's belted myself there. But those who said they had never seen fireflies, I was like, oh my gosh, I remember as a kid, that was like one of our favorite things. If we could stay out at dusk and as it started to get dark and see the fireflies like going through the yard. We have them here in our yard all the time. It's so pretty because it's just like the backyard twinkles. You just see them light up. Okay. I think I'm going to just leave it at that. And as I, in true me fashion, put down a couple more. But you know, whatever. It's fine. Okay, I want to mask out the whitest edge of my moon. And I'm going to come just inside where my lines are because I don't want those lines to show after the fact. Now, the masking will lift some of that off. So that's another thing. If you put masking over your lines, masking will lift that. So let's just say I had I wanted to mask out a mushroom altogether. And I had like drawn all the little spots and stuff like that on. And I put my masking on and then I lifted it. It would lift that off. The tip on this one, so Carissa, or excuse me, Dolphin Soul, thank you so much. I'm liking this. It's flexible. Oh, that was a lot right there. I'll pick some up, maybe. Maybe not. There we go. Good enough. Good enough. Don't have to worry about it too much. I want some of this to, the white of the moon, to show through my trees that I'm going to paint here. So I'm just going to kind of dabble some in, but I like how the nib on this pointed one is a little flexible. All right, after you've been using it for a little while, it might start to get dry on there. Just wipe it off. Go again. Right, I want some of that moon showing through in some spots on my tree. And we're going to fill this in. This is where if I had an old brush that I used for masking fluid, I would definitely grab it to use it for this part. I like the PBO drawing gum. I've never had a problem with it leaving blue on my paper, and I've never had a problem with it ripping my paper. And I've actually left it on my paper way longer than you're supposed to. Yeah, a time or two, just because I didn't get back to my project. So we're doing this like a nice big, I want to, whatever, it's fine. I'm just gonna leave it just like that. I wanted to leave part of that open, and I think I covered it, but it's fine. It's fine. Nothing to worry about. All right, so there's my moon. I'm preserving the white of the paper for the brightest part of my moon. There we go. So that's done. While I am letting this masking dry before we start diving in with the paint, Starving Artist Collective had asked, and this came up on Discord. Other creators have put out that Patreon is making some changes. Yes, I'm going to use these again later on, so I'm just going to leave those out. Or I'll put them somewhere and forget where I put them, even though they're right in front of me. Okay. So you know what? I have heard, yes. I have never personally done it. Here's the question. Can you use masking fluid in acrylics? I have heard that you can. I've never personally done it, so I can't say. I've heard you can, but since I have not done it myself, I can't tell you that you can, because I don't know. I haven't tried that myself. Maybe one day we will have to try that. All right. So I'm like, wait a minute, what am I hearing? Somebody's learned it from something. Okay. Okay. So no, let me like diffuse a little bit of that right there, or at least put out like the real let's spill the tea. We're gonna spill it like reality version here, because the question was, and let me get back to finding that, because it's something you all need to know. If you do, I'm sorry, I missed, and I'm chewing on my lip. I shouldn't do that. Lily asked, do you ever spray the paper instead of brushing the water on? If you're talking about with water, yeah, absolutely, all the time. Absolutely. Okay. Okay, so here was the thing. When you get the chance today, talk about the Apple Patreon thing. Yes. So what is going on is Patreon put out to all of their creators who create and share content on the Patreon platform. That there are changes happening, and they're going to happen as of November, the 1st of November. And what it is that anyone who uses the Apple app, so the iOS app for Patreon, okay? I'm gonna get to all of that right there, Joseph. Exactly. So if you signed up, or if you sign up, not if you signed up, if you are already signed up and you signed up through the iOS app for Patreon. So I am an Apple user. I have an iPhone, I have an iPad, I am streaming to you right now on my MacBook Pro. I am Apple across the board. If any of the creators that I have joined their Patreon, I don't have to worry about it. If you join through the app as of November 1st, it's going to cost 30% more. Now, I say 30% more. What's going to happen is Patreon is going to increase the price so that the creators aren't putting out the same thing that other people are getting, but getting less. You see what I mean? They're trying to keep it so that creators are making the same across the board. So it's going to cost 30% more if you decide to click join through the app, the Patreon app on your phone. Don't click join through the Patreon app. That's all you got to do. As an Apple user, I can click on Safari. For me, you would just go click on Safari, type in patreon.com/Clark Fine Art. That's going to bring you to my Patreon page. You can sign up. You'll pay the normal price. Even if you're on Apple, you will pay the normal price. It will not cost you more. If you sign up through the app, it costs you more because Apple charges 30%. They've always done it. Anybody who creates an app, if Apple processes your money, it costs you 30% for Apple to cover the cost. Okay, you're paying for the convenience of having an app on Apple and, in the App Store, and you're paying for Apple to process all that money and the security that goes along with Apple processing that money. That's important to some people. So you have that option. You can do that. For me, myself, if you are considering you want to become a channel member or a patron, I just want to share with you, YouTube already does this. Spoiler alert. YouTube does this. If you have memberships as a YouTube creator, YouTube takes 30%. This is apples and apples now. Apples and apples. It's apples and Googles. I mean, I guess. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that already happens. That's why you will notice my tiers look exactly the same. They are exactly the same. You get exactly the same benefits. If you choose the creator tier on Patreon, or you choose the creator tier on YouTube. Some people are like, why does it cost more? Well, it's $10 if you are a creator member on Patreon. It's $14.99, I think, if you're a creator member on YouTube. But what I did to offset that is I added the superfan tier. You don't have a superfan tier with Patreon. So that's why, yes, it's costing more, but at superfan, just $2.99 a month through YouTube, you can unlock my Discord server. You can unlock, I want to say it's like almost 10 channels on my Discord server. It's at least, I want to say it's at least 9. I could be mistaken. I'd have to look. I don't want to do that. I want to get back to the painting. But, so you have that benefit. So if you're going to pay the $14, because that's what it'd be for that tier, if you signed up through the Apple app after November 1st, it would be $14.99 on the Apple app, because Patreon already told me what that price will be. So it would be $14.99 for my what is $10 just through regular Patreon. Well, if you're going to pay $14, sign up on YouTube. Sign up on YouTube. Get the superfan benefits. It's extra benefits on top of it. You get your badge, you get all the emotes, you get access soon, that earlier access to stuff on YouTube, and anything that I put out specifically on YouTube that's locked down by paying tiers, you get access to that. So it's a little different, but yet the benefits correlate. So creator tier, community tier, studio tier, you get the same benefits whether you join as a YouTube member or a Patreon member. So that being said, I personally don't think it's a big deal, because you still have a choice. As an Apple user, I still have a choice. I can go to the web browser and I can join Patreon just by following the link in the description below, patreon.com/ClarkFineArt. And you can still sign up even after November 1st if you're an Apple user and pay the same price. If you say, Angela, I'm not interested in the superfan benefits, I don't need those extra perks on YouTube, I just want to be on Patreon, I like the Patreon platform better, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. That's why I have both options available. So a lot of people, I think, are getting really like, and upset over it. Myself personally, I'm not, because I know there's a workaround for you guys. And I know that if you want that extra security of paying through Apple every month, you can choose to have it. And if you want to sign up via the web page and not pay that extra every month, you can have that. And if you want the extra perks for the same price on YouTube, you can have that. You can have it all, whatever you choose. So that's what's going on. That's what the news was about. It's going to cost more with Apple. For us creators, if you're creating on both Patreon and you have both a Patreon membership and offer a YouTube membership, you're already having 30% taken there. Like it's kind of, that's already happening right here. So like this like gasped reaction that I'm seeing from some creators, like it's already happening on YouTube. That's what YouTube takes. And I have no problem with YouTube taking that 30%, because you know what? YouTube lets me upload anytime I want to. It stores all my videos and doesn't charge me for them. And it lets me share free content with you guys. I'll take that 30% when members say, hey, I want to support the channel, because you know what? If that didn't happen, I couldn't create and we couldn't have this. So yeah, that's called business, right? It's business. They have to get paid somehow. And yes, I know there are ads on YouTube and ads pay for a lot too, but it's just one way that they can make their money. We all have little hats, different hats in the thing, different ways that we're trying to monetize and earn stuff. So yeah, I'm a business major, right? My master's is business and marketing. So, and I'm an artist here on YouTube, but to me, it's just business, and I understand it and I get it, but there's a workaround for all of you, so you don't have to worry. And if you're already signed up and you already pay monthly through the app, and your Apple takes that money and sends it to Patreon every month, it's not going to change. The amount you're paying is not going to go up. And so if you're worried about it, sign on up before the 1st of November and become a patron and come have fun with us. And let's get to painting, because that's what we're going to do. And you get access to Discord and everything else. And oh, by the way, studio members, I will see you tomorrow. Now, speaking of Patreon, I have a free 7-day trial. And you can sign up today. You'd be able to join us tomorrow on Zoom for the studio session. And we're going to be creating our own sketchbooks. So if that is something that you have always been interested in, you can create yours, or you can just watch and then create later. I'm showing workarounds. You don't have to have special equipment. I do, but you don't have to. And I'm going to show you workarounds. You can do it with watercolor paper, the the old back off of like one of your blocks or pads, and regular thread like you would mend your socks or your pants or your whatever clothes that it might need mending. I'm going to show you how to do all of it with just simple things you can find around the house and not having to buy any fancy special things. You don't need an all. I mean, we're going to cover all of it. So if that's something that interests you, there is a free 7-day trial going on over on Patreon, and that would be for the studio tier. That's who has Zoom every single month. Creator tiers, you have Zoom once a quarter, and next month that will be for creators and studio members. So that is all of that. I hope that helped. I hope that filled in information for people who were wondering about it. And Maya, great question. What about the Patreon app on Android? Nothing's happening. Nothing's changing yet. Who knows? Google Play Store or your whatever your app store is might be like, oh, hey, yes, we're gonna do that too. I don't know. I'm not sure. I can't speak for what might happen in the future. But as of right now, Patreon says if you are like an Android-based phone, and you use the app, nothing's changing if you sign up through the apps. And if you are, of course, if you sign up directly through the website, a web-based browser, you are not going to pay the extra amount. It'll just be whatever the creator has always charged for their tiers. So I hope that answered everybody's questions. Okay. George said, can you describe how you created the 2 reference photos versus using existing photos? Yeah. So I use Canva. I used to have a link in the description, but I think Canva switched so that affiliates are just people who promote Canva like all the time, and I guess I don't do it as often as they would want. But welcome back, Rob. And so anyhow, oh, Kemi Murphy Kitten, I just saw this, says booked into my co-op for a Japanese bookbinding class tomorrow. That sounds so exciting. We're doing that too tomorrow. Well, we're doing sketchbooks, but yeah. Anyways, so on Canva, there is a thing that you can use. We're going back to the desk because we have to get painting. We will never finish this. Now we need to finish this in an hour, and I don't know. That's gonna... I'm an artist, not a miracle worker. We're gonna see what we can do. Okay. So, George, I didn't go to the right one. There we go. On there, I can use AI. I can type it out and type out a description. So I described what I was seeing in my mind, what I wanted for this scene. I described it. And then after I described it, I hit enter. The AI went to work. I spit back those images. And those were the 2 images that I showed you. And now just one more time for those who might not have been present. So it spit back this image. And make sure I'm going the right way. Yes. And this image. It spit back more than that. But these were 2 that had features that I liked. You'll see that I like this tree and these mushrooms. And we have that tree and those mushrooms right here. And then here you'll see this tree I didn't like. I like odd numbers. I didn't make there be another mushroom here. I just had the 3 mushrooms. And then the 3 mushrooms are also leading me up in because now we're going like this, right? I didn't want this great big one over here. I felt that was like distracting, and I wanted layers. So we have these here in the tree, like this is on that same field, the same plane rather. And then we have these mushrooms behind. Then we have another tree behind, more trees behind. It's just going to keep layering into the background. So yeah, that's what I did. And so I just took some images that I had described for AI and had the AI create for me. And then I took the inspiration from there, what I liked, and then that created this. So those two images, I can, after the stream, I will upload them. I will edit the post that I made. We're going to start with the background. I'm going to need some Berlin blue. Again, Berlin blue is what Paul Rubens calls it. It is Prussian blue. It is PB27. So you have a different set of watercolors. You would know this as Prussian blue. And if you're going, Angela, I don't have Prussian blue, what can I use? Well, you can grab some phthalo blue and a touch of neutral tint, or phthalo blue and just a touch of black, if you don't have neutral tint but you have black. So, and if you don't have either, remember that ultramarine blue and burnt sienna together will make you a nice neutral tint. You want to neutralize them perfectly and get a nice leaning cool, so leaning slightly more blue, and then that would give you a neutral tint that you could use. So for example, burnt sienna. Okay. And they call it French blue, ultramarine blue, right? And we mix those together. That has more of the burnt sienna, so it is a very warm gray. If I grab just a touch more, that was more than a touch. That's the way it always works. Right? You just kind of back and forth it for a hot minute, and there we go. Boom. So there is a nice cool. And we have, so let me just show you phthalo blue right here. If I take my phthalo blue, see how that's much bolder than this? But if I take that phthalo blue and I bring some of that neutral tint into that, look at, we're getting much closer to here. So that's, if you don't have it, you can do that. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm an artist, not a miracle worker. I'm not swearing, right? What was it I said that one time? Oh my gosh, I just said it the other night too, and it made me laugh because I said it once. I said it once on here. You guys thought I dropped an F word, and I didn't. But I said something. I said it last night too, and now I can't think of what the word is. All right, we're going to take, I've got my 3/4 wash. We need to get this paper wet. And I am just wetting this. I wanted to mask it off. Oh, shoot. I wanted to mask it off because I want a nice pretty border. All right. It's fine. It's fine. You never know what's going to happen. Just dabbing that off so that I can take some masking. Let's see. Hopefully I have enough of this. I just want a border. I just want that satisfying tape peel when it's all said and done. I don't have to really worry about like to hold it down because this is a block. Okay, that is not straight. That would not have been a very nice. There we go. And I'll make sure, of course, if you're watching this, if you're watching this on replay, and you got to this point just to find this out, you're probably like, great. But I'm going to put a timestamp. So I'm going to timestamp it afterwards. So those of you who are watching on the replay will have the opportunity to jump straight forward to painting. So I will try my best to get chapters put on this. And that was important. I did want to make sure I talked about that because I think I'm probably going to be in a minority. I am not one for drama's sake. And definitely, I understand. I understand why they're doing it. I mean, it's business. I get it. I don't have to agree with it, but I absolutely get it. And it's something that's already happening. So it's not a shocker. You know, it's something that's already happening elsewhere. And I'm surprised that it wasn't already happening because usually something like that's always charged on All right, now we're diving in with the water. Let's see. Let's see how much we can do, how quickly, especially having this masked out. I'm going to go all the way down into where my trees are. Right, all the way down into here, going around my mushroom. That's good enough. All right, so lots of water. Lots of water. I want this to be a really light value. Really light value. And I know my watercolor is going to dry lighter. So anyhow, for anybody that was worried about it or didn't know or just had questions, I just figured I would certainly cover that. It came up, you know, it was asked on Discord if I had heard about it, which I had. And I had already planned on addressing it because I knew it would be something that would be out and creators would talk about it and people would have questions. I'm kind of feeling like a bit monochromatic, like back here. So you're gonna see me put in. I'm just switching. You may see me look over and switch a little bit for the. Whoa! I didn't want to touch my mushroom. Okay. I'm going to let this kind of fade out through here because this is where it will start to warm it up coming forward. I'm painting right over my trees because I'm not worried about that. I can see right through this. I don't want to paint all into my moon. I had this paper wet and it's really dried, and I just saw that let me just take a second. Welcome, Virginia. Glad that you have joined us. That means you now have access to the Discord server. If you use Discord and you already have Discord connected with your YouTube account that you just signed up with, you won't have to worry about doing anything. You will be able to go over to Discord and you will see my server available for you to join. And I hope you will, because I can't express enough how much more benefit you guys have by being a member on Discord. All right. Again, it doesn't matter to me if I go over these trees. These are really going to be very cool. I'm not liking what I'm seeing here, and I don't know why it's reacting that way. It hasn't reacted that way. And any other painting I've done with these paints has not reacted that way. And if I wet it, and I've used this paper, so it's not that. I don't know what's going on with that. All right, I'm just going to get rid of this brush. I'm taking my 10 round because I do need a bigger brush. This is not a job for a 6 or an 8. Definitely not a job for that. And I need, again, some more of my Prussian blue. And I'm going to take a touch of ivory black. So ivory black is PBK 9. Because the top of my scene, oops, I should have before I did that. Again, that was my Berlin blue, my Prussian blue. Because this area of the moon is going to be And we're going to have it be lighter down here. Pull some of that out. There we go. And we're going to make this darker. So that's why I added in a little bit of black to that. And again, you can use neutral tint. You could use a lamp black. You can use ivory black. It's fine. Because we want some of this back here. I want to get this. I don't mind if some of this is lighter. I'll kind of drop this stuff in. Definitely want it darker at the top. See if we can't get some of that background to paint itself. And I'm trying to make sure I can still see where my lines are. Just bringing that in. Nice and darker up here. And if we don't finish it today, I will finish it next week, but we'll see how fast it starts to paint up. You see how I'm getting lines coming down? Yeah, I don't want that. Just adding some more water to this, a little bit more blue on a bright, no, that was a lot of blue. Yeah, see, I activated the Paul Rubens paint. They activate really easily. Really easily. I'm afraid that's going to be too strong. I would rather add more. There we go. I don't want that paint too watery though, because if it is, it's going to push a bloom back. All right. Cleaning my brush, because as we work in here, I want this to kind of lean in lighter. So just with a clean brush, kind of take that edge out. There we go. Same through here. Okay. All right, I think we're calling it for the sky. I'm going to leave that alone now. But wait, you know I can't. Just want to really darken this up some more. This side. Right, because our moon's over here. It's going to be darker over here. Some of my lines I can't see, but I do have the reference photos, so. Should have left them darker. All right. Again, that's going to lighten up as it dries. I have masking on this, so I can't take my heat tool to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start working on the bottom, and we're going to come up. Let me just double check chat because I do see a question. Yes. Yeah. The reason I used the washi tape over my Meeden or artist tape, because it was right here on the desk. It happened to be sitting here. And I would have been like looking like, where's my Meeden? Where's my Meeden? And so yes, the answer is It was convenient. See, here's my meat and tape. I could have used either. Either would have been fine. That is more than wide enough to do what I wanted to do. And I do love the meat and masking tape. So that is definitely, that is something that you're interested in. I've never had a problem with their masking coming off. It's lovely. So no, it was convenience. That was why I grabbed it. It was sitting right there staring at me, and I was like, well, I'm going to use that. I need to use it up anyway so it doesn't go bad, and that's the reason. Okay. It is not a water soluble graphite, so it's not coming off. Well, maybe it is water soluble graphite, right? It's graphite. This block, actually, I'm pretty sure. Let's just see, George. For the inquiring minds that want to know. Do I have a piece? Convenient. Yes. Okay. There's a piece of scrap paper. You ready? So yeah, it's water soluble. So there you go. Another reason why fantastic for using it here, because it's just going to blend in with, I can still see some of the lines, but yeah, a lot of the lines they've disappeared. But that's okay. I know I can just follow up what's happening here. Great question, George. Or yeah, wonderful thoughts. All right. I'm just double checking chat because my chat wasn't moving, so I wasn't seeing it going. Yeah, that okay. I'm like, I don't want to put it out there. We don't need to draw attention to it. I was just reading Dolphin Soul's thing that her husband started watching. I didn't paint the moon blue, Bill. It's masking. Just masking. Graphite paint shadow colors video soon. Hey, you never know, right? That would be fun to play with. We'll have to check that out and see, like, hey, you can not only use it for this, you can use it for other things too. I don't like that hard line there. We're gonna see how it's pushing. Yeah, no. Maybe it was just my cheap sketchbook paper. Not one that I made myself. I wouldn't use cheap paper. But see how that just like wants to erase. I shouldn't have touched this. I should not have touched this, but it's fine. The tree's gonna come up through here. It's all gonna be, we're fine. We're all fine here. Second time we've referenced that section of Star Wars, but you know, it's okay. If you know, you know. All right. So now we need, let's paint some of our foreground grasses. Oh, let's paint, actually, while we have the blue, let's paint in some of these mushrooms. It made them blue and I kind of like it. So we're going with it. We're just going to paint some of these little guys in. Still using my size 10 round because why not? It has a fantastic point. Oh, I did miss. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I did miss it. Did it not tell me they? Oh, no, it did. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. So thank you, Rob, very much. And let's welcome our new super fans. You have been gifted, if you're seeing your name up on the screen, you've been gifted a membership from Rob. Here we go. There we go. Thank you so much, Rob. And welcome, everybody. If you are on Discord, again, you will have access to the Discord server. I hope that we get to see you over there, because there are a lot of extra benefits that you get by being a member over on Discord. Okay. Put some more of these little, I wouldn't recommend eating the blue mushrooms. Are they blue? Maybe they're actually like the little gray mushrooms, but they're picking up, they're reflecting the blue of the sky. I don't know. I'm just making things up at this point, folks. I'm gonna bring that right to the bottom of the page. Now you see, I'm not being precious about this. I'm just putting that color down. And we're just getting this first wash, putting that color down. We got some blue mushrooms going on. Yeah, Rob is definitely a star here. This is like some little orb that is like glowing. And I'm using what is left of this blue because it's so very light. And I'm going to put another one. It's kind of over here. And we're going to get a little bit of this color that's like glowing out. And I'm going to lift that because I want that nice and light. There we go. I'm going to have to paint around that, which is going to be a pain in the neck, but it's fine. It's fine. I have no idea. I am not. Nope. I am not up on what mushrooms are safe to eat and which ones are not. I would never eat a mushroom that I picked myself because it might be, some are edible. Some are very good for you. Some not so much. They help you go to sleep and not wake up. I'm not looking for those kind. For sure. I am not. So just using that blue, kind of keep it cohesive, right? We've used it elsewhere and not using it on any of my big ones. They're not that kind of mushroom. They grow much larger. These are like giants. Nick would have gotten it. Well, Nick doesn't show up around here, so I don't know what to tell you. It's like totally over my head. Yeah, I think, Rob, you had to pop away for a minute when I said that. I did share about the studio hangout tomorrow. So for those of you who are community members and above, I will still be having live chat tomorrow morning on Discord. So definitely stop on by, say hello, join me for that. And then in the afternoon, around 2 o'clock, we will have the Zoom studio hangout, and I will have it posted on YouTube community tab. I will have it posted on Patreon, and most importantly, I will have it posted on Discord with the link for you to get there for how to log into Zoom. And that'll let you get on whether you're using the Zoom app on your phone or a web browser or whatever. And you don't have to worry about joining. Like if you don't want to join and have your sound on and speak with your voice, you don't have to. You can text in just like you would text in the live chat here. You don't have to be on camera. You can put your camera on your work. You don't have to have your camera on at all. It is whatever level you are comfortable with. But I think that you will find once you get there, that the crew that shows up for these Zoom sessions are very welcoming and very fun to be around. And yeah, this month we're doing sketchbooks, which we do something different all the time. Sometimes we're all paint the same things. Sometimes we're doing our own thing. And this time we are going to create sketchbooks. I shared the little sketchbook. Yeah, I have it right here. I shared the little sketchbook that I made. We're not doing this kind because this is one that has to be, the one that I made already is one that has to be glued. And that we wouldn't have time to do together. We're doing one that is actually sewn together. So this is a little sketchbook that I made. And it has, like, you could put, you know, if lost, return to, and like your address in the little flap. And then there's a piece of cardstock. And then the actual pages begin. And this is Be Inspired watercolor paper. And then the back has a little extra piece and the little thing. And yeah. And what did I learn? I learned, and it's all hardcover, the spine and everything. But I learned I do not like this fabric. I do not like that fabric for making sketchbooks. And I would never use it again, even though I have a ton of it. Okay. Next up, oh, that looked like a little piece of graphite. Let's just see before I go painting this in. Yep, it was. There we go. I'll bet it never happened. Oh, I'm glad that you felt so. You felt, yeah. I think I said what I meant. So beyond welcoming. So it's fun. I like to think it's fun. I have fun. We're silly. It's nothing like a live stream. It is so very different. So much beyond what we get here in a live stream. Okay, now I want some dark green. Let's just turn this way. I want some dark green. I'm going to take cobalt turquoise dark. This is PG-36 for those of you who are wanting to compare to whatever watercolors you have. And I really want to, I need to warm that up. First, that's just a touch of the ivory black because I want this dark. This is going to be for the green shadow where I have shadows, but it's still, don't splatter it on your painting there. It's still too cool. Hi, Eagle 134. Let me try a touch of earth yellow, PY42, otherwise known as yellow ochre. Yep, there we go. That'll do it. Perfect. All right. So now that I pretty much have none of the color left because it was all on my brush, see if I can't get it out. That's what I'm going to use. So that was the cobalt turquoise dark, PG-36. To that, I'm going to add some ivory black, deepen it up. And now to get it warmer like I want, I'm going to use like a yellow ochre. It's earth yellow if you're using the Paul Rubens set. It's yellow ochre if you're using just about anything else. PY42. There we go. All right. So there is my shadow greens. Now let's get a light green. There really isn't one that I like on here. So I'm going to take is this one? It's PY65, chromium yellow hue deep. It's kind of like a new gamboge or a cadmium yellow deep, one of those, very warm. And I'm going to, let's try that same blue because we're already using this. Let's see what that looks like. What kind of green do we get? That'll do. So it was just a touch of that Prussian blue, Berlin blue, according to Paul Rubens. Okay. Now, I'm going to start by wetting an area. I need to look back at my other reference photo. Okay, so I'm going to start by wetting this space here. This is like a pathway. I've got little pebbles here. Just kind of wetting around. I'm going to wet around my little mushroom. And I'm going to drop in, especially here in the foreground. Drop in some of that lighter green. Through here as well. Once I get to here, I need to start to get cooler. So I need it to go more. The cool green. Work those two kind of together. Blend that. And then going beyond, that's where I really want it to be more this like blue. Just a clean brush right now, kind of putting in where this tree is. Because this pale blue that I'm putting down, it's going to have my highlight. We're going to come back and put some darker value in front of that. All right, let's take some of this. It's kind of all separating and doing its thing on the palette. And we're just going to kind of drop some spots in. Come along this edge for sure. I want it to feel like, and it's coming down, kind of downhill. This is on a mound and it's coming downwards. So I'm gonna pay attention to the angle that I pull some of those shadows. And under here, right, we're going to shadow, put a lot more of this into shadow, especially coming back in this space around these guys. I'm going to put some more rocks here. I'm not sure where I'm headed with that yet, so I'm just going to dab so it's lighter. I can paint over that. Eagle asked, are those the newest Paul Rubens watercolors? Yes, these are the 5th gen watercolors. They are the ones that come in the striped tin. I have them linked below. And see, by working wet and wet, like we're already getting some wispy stuff that looks like grass, and it's just kind of painting that part of it for me, which is why I wanted to go wet and wet, because time is of the essence. All right, I'm gonna come over to this side for a moment. This needs to get darker, so I'm not gonna worry about that. I want to work over here for a moment. And this is where I keep having to kind of bounce this. The only thing about like 2 different reference photos, like I have to keep kind of bouncing back and forth if I want to get something similar. And it's a reference photo. It is, I want it to be, again, I say it every week, photo similar, not photorealistic, not, you know, exact. This was just something I created as a guide. There are a lot of little parts with this one. So if you give it a try, don't get discouraged. Just take it one little part at a time. You can totally do this. All right, I need that. Remember that bright color? We used this one here. Well, it's going to be a lot. They reactivate so easily. And a little bit of that blue in there, just to get that nice warm green. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and paint it all the way through where I just put that water. Because then I'm going to come back with some of my shadows. That's going to be dark, 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 dark. I don't even need to put that over there. My path is coming this way and right about here. Oh, we're going to have some grasses. Let's just go ahead and flick some of that in. I could have painted these mushrooms, let them dry, and then masked them off so that I could have just painted over this quickly. So this is certainly one that if you don't mind using masking and you're not allergic to it, you could absolutely do that in stages. I could have painted my mushrooms and my rocks, then masked them, and then come back through and painted the green grass just in one big go. I didn't pre-wet this part first, but that's fine. This gets much darker over here. And like the very famous Mr. Ross used to say, we can't have light without dark, right? We have to have dark for this to glow. For this part of the painting to start to glow, we have to get some really dark in there. Yes, that's correct. I believe Lindsay also did. Paul Rubens often sends her things. This is the first time Paul Rubens has ever sent me something, so I'm feeling a little special right at the moment. We have been recognized by Paul Rubens as, you know, somebody to have test out their product. So that's fun. And this is still wet, so I'm going to just dab some in, and I'm going to let that grass just kind of grow up on its own. Along here too. This one's not so wet, so we'll just flick that up. This looks really dark. It's not too dark. Here we go. Now we're getting where it's damp. It's taken off and doing it on its own. I love the point on this 10 round. I could probably do the whole rest of this painting with this 10 round. No problem. Will I? I don't know about that, but I could. And down here we need to have some darker. We need some darker grasses too. Right? So the grass that's on the back side that's catching that light, but from where we're looking towards it, it's going to be darker, closer to us. So yeah, if you're doing this for the challenge, just know this is not a 10-minute painting. And of course, I was like, oh, we'll do it bigger, and then all chaos happened today, and we got started late. And I'm going to carry this right through this area because this whole area needs to be darker. Eagle says, I don't even do watercolor. Dolphin Soul. I love watercolor. Or gouache. We might end up using some gouache before we're done on this piece. And I will do this in 2 parts. We will come back and finish this next week. You won't want to miss that because once the base gets down, it's going to get pretty, I think anyways, it's going to be pretty cool to see it come together and just start to glow. And I'm not worried about, like I said, I use the PBO masking. I am not worried if I leave this on, that masking fluid on for a week. I'm not worried about that at all. I've done it before and it still comes off no problem. And it definitely, I've never had a problem getting it off this meat paper. I'm just pulling a few darker marks of grass up. So I can already see how it's drying lighter. So another layer, throwing a little bit of this in. And it's a lot of detail for, we're not there. We're not at the details yet, but there you go. I try to get the ones that you can paint along with done in one sitting, but there was some distraction. We got off to a late start. Next week I'll have to remind me, and I will show you all the sketchbook that I make tomorrow with patrons. And again, I do have the 7-day free trial. If a studio membership is something that you might be interested in, you can try that for free and come hang out on a Zoom and see what it's like. You'll also have access, if you get onto Discord, you will also be able to access all the channels. I really need to count all the channels because every tier unlocks new channels on Discord. And you get all kinds of things. Like there's one where we jump in and we play games. Picture a bunch of artists playing digital Pictionary where you can only draw with your finger on your phone. And everybody has to try to guess it. It's a lot of fun. The games last from anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. And we'll get on there and play quite a few. And if you're on there and you haven't played yet, I definitely recommend. Dolphin Soul can speak to that. She and Tara and I can often be found in there playing that game. I think we have a lot of fun. It is at 2 p.m. Eastern time, Tara. So you have to be a studio member, and you'll get. By becoming a studio member, you will have access to the links for Zoom, and it is at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So that would be 7 p.m. for you. This needs to be so much darker going in through here, even darker than this. So I'm not going to worry about that continuing on that side. I will do it up here. One channel just for snowballs. Yes, that's true. That is true. Cadmium Red Feral Kitten says one channel. If you are like, what on earth are you talking about? I have custom emotes, and if you're a super fan, you get access to those here. And I put them out at wintertime. But they're always available on Discord. And last year, we had snowball fights. Super fans had snowball fights in the chat while we were streaming. There are snowballs. Looks like a snowball's being thrown. I think there's one. It looks like a snowman has been hit and is getting torn apart by the snowball. Parts are going everywhere. It's a lot of fun, but we do have a thread over there that is just for snowball fights. You can actually tag someone that you're throwing a snowball at, and yeah. Anyways, we have a lot of fun. You get a lot of behind the scenes content over there. I am always sharing, like when I'm working on something, I'm always popping pictures over there. So super fans and up. So again, for as little as $2.99 a month, as a super fan, you have access to that. You get all the behind the scenes things. You get glimpses of what I'm doing before anybody sees it on YouTube or Instagram or any of those locations. Okay, that's gonna have to get darker even still, so I'm not worried about going this way. Just trying to work on some of this. And once I get beyond these crazy mushrooms, what was I thinking? once we get beyond this space. That'll be easier to just fill in an area. My palette has gotten dry. I'm going to pull in a little bit more blue. We're going to move backwards, and it's fine if it gets cooler. Nope. Actually, right there, I need it to be very, very light. Right? Like there's like a highlight here. It's going to lift. Actually, I'm just going to pull that color through there. That'll make my highlight. That'll work just fine. We do sometimes, Eagle. Asked if anybody actually gets snow that you can make snowballs with. Sometimes we'll get really heavy, wet snow. And yeah. Yeah, it's almost 5 o'clock here now, Lily. So you must be an hour behind me. You must be Central Time. I'm going to have to wait a whole week to finish painting this. It's going to drive me crazy. Like, I don't know how Joseph does it sometimes. And speaking of, if you are not familiar, our moderators both have channels. Tara and Joseph have channels here on YouTube. And Joseph, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, is going to be streaming on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. So same time as me, but on Tuesdays instead of what used to be Monday. And it will drive me crazy to see this. I'll have to put it up somewhere where I can't see it because I've been wanting to do a painting like this for a long time. And now I have to wait a whole week to finish. That's why I usually like to make sure that if we're painting, doing something where we can paint along, then it can be done in one session. Unfortunately, this one's going to take a little bit longer. I think that's permanent. In the next couple weeks. Okay, so all you gotta do is just go on over to Joseph's channel. Link is in the description below. And click that subscribe button and turn on that little bell notification. And you'll know when he makes the switch to Tuesdays. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of that yet, but we'll see. I'm gonna trust the process. Trusting the process. That mushroom got a little out of hand. I was just reeling it back in. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be really hard not to just keep painting. All right. I'm loving how this grass is starting to look. This here. We will glaze in colors. We will glaze in colors on top. I think that this is very doable for next week. We are going to do some wet and wet washes that will get these trees painted very quickly. We'll probably start with that section next week and paint the rest of our background trees. And then we can get these trees painted, and that will give me the darks and really help me be able to know the where this needs to be. And then once we have that set, we will remove our masking and we will add in our fireflies. Fireflies are so fun and easy to paint. I want to show you how to paint fireflies because, again, if you were doing the prompt over on Discord, where did I put my little scrap piece of paper that we did? I saw your question. I will get that in just a second. All right, I'm going to move this aside for a moment because I don't want to mess up our project, which looks like a hot mess right now. This looks like a really hot mess. Trust the process. You have to trust the process. Trust me. Okay, if you're doing fireflies, let's get some dark, moody sky down here. Okay. We're going to get some dark, moody sky going. This is going to be really quick. Ooh, look at that color. Yeah, I like it. All right. So if we have our dark, moody sky, or our dusk, right? Sun's going down. All right. There's a couple ways you can do them. One way, if I want to create, I'm taking, this is just a size 2 long round. I love the long rounds. I'm getting ready to place an order. I'm going to get the 4 and the 6 as well. I think I have the 8 long round. Yeah, I have the 8 long round. And then that will give me the 2, the 4, the 6, the 8. I don't have the 10 in a long round, but I do have a 12. I don't need a 10 in a long round. I just use the 10. But with my brush just damp, I flicked it off. I can touch the water. You're going to see it's going to push that circle. I would want to clean that off. I could do it again. Touch that little, that's going to be a big one. Still not a problem. There was a big dot came off. I just want to barely touch with the clean water. Okay, so I'll show you a couple like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry those real quick. I am going to mute you so I don't blow out anybody's ears if you're listening on headphones. Okay. Remind me. I gotta answer that question. All right, and then I can take some bleed-proof white. You can use gouache. Right, I'm gonna take that. I'm just gonna put it right here on the side of my plate so that I don't come back and contaminate this. And watch this. If I take my bleed-proof white and I'm grabbing some yellow. Just a yellow. This is Cad Yellow Light. It is PY35, so yes, Cad Yellow. I'm going to mix this in here with some of this white. Look at that nice pale, 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 very pale yellow. I need my glasses so I can see. And I can come in here. It's yellow. This is yellow, very pale yellow. I could warm that up a little bit more if I wanted to. Grabbing a little bit more of the yellow. There we go. See, that's nice and bright. And you guys can decide what you like the best. I'm going to go around, but I'm always going to stop in the center because where I lift my brush, I deposit. Right? My brush leaves a deposit of paint. So if I come around like this, and I go in a circle, but I lift up in the center. Any extra paint is going to be left in the center. So as of right now, we've got some yellow glow. We have some white orbs. Again, you decide what you like best. But now I need to dry this. So again, just take a second. And for the ones that were white, I'm going to grab that full strength, and I'm just going to put a nice little white in the center. Again here in the center. And, oh, I just touched my clean water with that. That's not what I wanted to do. My clean water is now very contaminated with bleed proof white. It just got a little cloudy. I like them with the yellow. That's my personal preference for Fireflies. And there you go. And so they're nice and bright. It looks like they're glowing. That's how we're going to do the Fireflies when we come back next week. So if you are on the Discord and you have that prompt coming where you have to do Fireflies and you're going, I don't know how to do them. I've never even seen a Firefly. Hopefully that will help you. So here's where we're going to leave off for this week. Now, I just had that question. Aren't they beautiful? I love it. We can see them out in our back. We have this big window that looks out to the backyard, and you can just see, it just looks like it's sparkling. It's just glowing back there. It's so neat to watch them. Okay. Let's see. So the question was, explain YouTube versus Patreon tiers. They're exactly the same. They're exactly the same. With the difference of there's no superfan on Patreon. So superfan membership is the introductory tier here on YouTube. It is only $2.99 a month. It gets you access to the Discord server. It gets you a special badge next to your name here on YouTube. It gets you access to all the custom emotes that I put out that you guys like to play with in the chat when we are streaming. But most importantly, it gets you access. It gets you in the door to Discord. It gets you all the behind the scenes stuff. So that's where behind the scenes really opens up. A lot of more access to me opens up. And then at each tier level, even more access opens up on Discord. So if you are next up is community member. So community member on Patreon or community member on YouTube. On YouTube, you also get all the benefits from Superfan. Okay, and on Patreon, community is where it starts. You get live chat. You get access to Discord. You get live chats on Friday at 10 on Discord. It's 10 a.m. It's 10:30 a.m. every Friday morning. I gotta have time to make that coffee. So we have it every Friday morning. You also get access to three or four more channels on Discord that are specifically for community members. The next tier up is the creator member. And both on YouTube and Patreon, you get the benefits of all the tiers before. And then creators get any videos that I put out that are just for members, patrons, or channel members. I'm just going to say members going forward. So any videos that I put out that are just for members, you have access to that. You have... The creator members get a quarterly Zoom that we hang out and do different things. It's always different, and there's always four. So the 4 quarters are, you get access in March, June, September, and December. I always make sure both tiers that have Zoom have access in December because we're always doing something fun for the holidays. And there are challenges that are put out. Again, more channels are opened up on Discord. And when you are a studio member, you get access to everything, all the tiers before, both whether it be a YouTube member or a Patreon member. And you also get Zoom every single month. The Adventures in Watercolor. So Dolphin Soul says, don't forget to mention the Adventures in Watercoloring tier. So that is creator members. So if you're a creator member, it doesn't say that you get a video every single month because there are other things that we do. However, what you do get is I have been doing the Adventures in Watercolorland series, and that it starts at your tier, that it's open to you. And it is not a specific benefit that is promised. It is an extra benefit that I am doing just because it's fun. We're all enjoying it. We're doing like 100 watercolor paintings. We call it Adventures in Watercolorland. And I've shown you some of them here on the channel. I'll have to do like a look through of some of the adventures that we've done so far. Yeah, as my schedule had changed up a little, they slowed down, but I'm fixing to pick them right back up and get back into putting those out. I like to do them at least every other week. I'd like to do them weekly, and if I can do them more often, I do. There's no specific time that those will drop. Those are an extra bonus that I'm doing, and that starts at the creator tier. So that is just for $10 a month on Patreon. It's the one that would go to the $14.99 if you were getting it through the Apple app after November 1st. So just sign up before November 1st and you don't have a problem. But you can always sign up on the web and you would have that price no matter what. You don't get all the benefits of the Superfan tier. Now, you see, if that's $10 and you'd have to add Superfan to get all the benefits that YouTube also gets, it's like $13 versus on YouTube, it's $14. It kind of works out. It's all very similar. But that's why you see some things that they're the same on Patreon as they are on YouTube. But they cost a little bit more on YouTube because YouTube also has that extra tier that's included with everything ahead of it. So that's why you see pricing that's a little different. But the tiers by name are exactly the same benefits going forward. So I hope that all makes sense. I hope that answered your question, Cadmium Red Feral Kitten. And I hope to see some of you guys join us. If you think that a membership would be right for you, again, I have a 7-day free trial of the studio membership, and we will have Zoom tomorrow. So in the morning, I will be putting out all the links for that. And again, if you're signed up, if you got a gifted membership today, that should have automatically given you access to the Discord server as long as you have them connected. I do have pinned posts, or I do have posts that say how you can connect the two. So that's there. If you have any questions, just drop me a comment and let me know, and I will help you get connected. So huge thank you to all patrons and channel members. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. I could not do what I'm doing without all of your help. And that little hand's telling me that that's where another video is going to come if you're watching this on the replay. So I hope you all will join me again next week as we finish up this painting. I will make sure that the originals, reference photos that I got this from, are posted on Patreon. Again, link is in the description. You can get it for free. The line art, you can get it for free. Get back up to this point and come join me live next week, and let's paint the rest of this together. I hope you'll join me. Until next time, my friends, keep creating, and I will see you in a video real soon. Bye, guys.